Hi everyone, it's Kate from the Fold Line. I am back this week to talk all things Sewing Bee. Really good episode last night. I absolutely loved it. If you haven't seen it yet, there will obviously be spoilers in this, so do watch the show before you watch this. I think this is going to be quite a short video because of the challenges last night, and I will get onto that as we go into it. So it was quarterfinals. The theme was fashion icons. The first challenge was to make a technical challenge, was to make a little black dress inspired by Breakfast at Tiffany's, and obviously not inspired by, but as in that was what they were given to make. 4 hours, I think it was, to make that dress, which I thought was insane, including a lining that had to be hand sewn in down the back and around the waistband. Oh, and I think was the hem? No, the hem was allowed to be machine stitched. I mean, that is not possible to do. Well, it is if you work at high speed. And they had a very complicated back piece with this like burrito method, you know, the one where you kind of wiggle it all through and it all kind of pops out and it's done. I just thought it was such a difficult challenge. It's the time thing that I'm really noticing this season, is the time they give them seems to get less and less as each season happens. Anyway, I thought they all did really well. So I've got two options. I thought this was actually going to be quite an easy dress to find. Turns out it was actually quite difficult. So the key details of the dress was this kind of really beautiful neckline, strapless dress. It's kind of a seam round the waist, and then a sort of, it was long, kind of like wiggle dress. The back had this really beautiful detail, which I could not find. So I've got two options for you. The first one was Made My Wardrobe Delilah dress. So if I show you this, you can see quite similar. The thing that wasn't right about it is it has princess seams at the front. I really loved actually this dress. If you haven't seen it, it's a really nice one. And I love the square neckline option and the crossover details on the back. I'd actually forgotten that this even existed, so I just rediscovered it last night. So I thought that gives the same sort of feel, but it didn't have the length and the sort of drama of the Breakfast at Tiffany's one. So the other option I thought would work quite well is the McCall's 8038. If I show you the line drawing, you can see there's a sleeveless option. It's got the seam at the waist. It's got bust darts. The one on the show actually had like waist darts. So that was the difference. And the back was slightly different as well. So I don't think I did particularly well. If anyone knows who saw the programme last night, that back shape, I'm sure there is a pattern that has that, but I couldn't find it last night. And I will just add at this point, a couple of people have made comments on videos saying it would be really handy for you to show pictures from the show. We are not legally allowed to do that not every year, but we've had emails from the lawyers at the Great British Sewing Bee saying like you need to take things down, so we have to be really careful because they're really hot on it. So I'm not allowed to put any images like screen grabs from the show. I'm not allowed to show what they made, so unfortunately I just have to explain it, which is less handy for you guys. So we then had the middle section, which was the upcycling one, and I really loved this. So this one was based on Esme's fashion business, and she apparently made these iconic outfits using shower curtain material, and so that's what everyone had to do this week. And actually what they made was really great and very wearable considering the fabrication that they were using. Then finally, the last challenge, which was, I thought, hard and potentially a little less interesting. It was a smoking jacket, and I was thinking as a menswear item, I kind of wish they'd said a tailor jacket because there is more things that you could do with it. I thought it would be a bit more interesting. Whereas a smoking jacket is quite limiting in terms of what you can do and what patterns there are available. So pattern wise, I think we did pretty well actually. So Tony and Mia, so Tony's jacket was based on Willy Wonka. So it was purple with black lapels. So Mia's jacket I thought was absolutely incredible. So she used Harry Styles as her sort of icon, and her jacket was made in this beautiful jacquard with these amazing like scalloped lapels, which I thought were really clever. It's just like a really kind of interesting take on menswear. So the pattern that they both used, and we know this is right because we saw the sheets with the logo on. It was a company I've never heard of. They're called Dizzy Mister. They're on Etsy, and it's just cool. It's called Smoking Jacket Pattern, but I'll pop a link down below to it. And I can see why a couple of them using, because actually once we started looking, there were very few options available. So this has kind of the really dramatic lapel on the front. I mean, your absolute classic smoking jacket. So I can see why there ended up being 2 people using that. So those 2 were definitely right. Vicky, hers was a printed velvet, kind of a tuxedo, a tuxedo rather than a smoking jacket, but it had really beautiful details. And I thought Patrick was a bit harsh on her about the fit. And I think because Patrick obviously is tailoring trained, he was talking about fit of men's jacket in a way that I think quite a lot of people wouldn't know. He was talking about like the length of the sleeve and where it should be, which was really interesting, and how it should fit over the shoulder, which was kind of more obvious, but the sleeve length and the length of the actual jacket and what the proportions should be, I thought it was interesting, but also like kind of hard. Anyway, I think it's probably because I haven't made loads of menswear. Have you guys made men? I haven't done loads of tailoring, so I find, yeah. Anyway, her one, I'm pretty sure, was a Simplicity 8899. I love this, actually. I think it's such a nice, obviously, tuxedo jacket, but I just really like the lapel shape, that it's all one. It doesn't have a notched collar, which obviously is a tuxedo. I just thought the proportions of this were really lovely, and it also comes with a variation that you can make the trousers as well. So yeah, there's a second variation where you can add a sort of detail, kind of almost like a bias binding on the lapel as well, which I thought was a really like smart touch. But yeah, I thought it was a really beautiful pattern, and I thought it was really good. Lauren, can we just go back to Lauren actually, and her first challenge? And she was making the black version of the Breakfast Tiffany's dress, and she put in the invisible zip incorrectly, and I was just pissing myself watching her rip it out. Has anyone done that where you get it twisted? I've done it so many times, and just like the only way you're gonna do it is just to rip it, and like the frustration, I was cracking up watching it and also feeling her pain. So I think that Lauren, we're pretty sure that she used the Simplicity pattern, that S9692, and actually it's a really nice, if you haven't seen it before, almost like a sort of jumper pattern, and I thought this was a really clever concept actually, because it's a lot simpler to make. When it popped up the line drawing, but she had a bit of a nightmare making it, and there were some things that didn't go right, and I just felt really sorry for her. You know, when you just know you're like watching it all kind of unfurl on TV. Yeah, so but that pattern is actually really nice, and I thought it's a unisex pattern as well, so you can make it for everyone. Last but not least was Asma, who absolutely nailed it again. I mean, she is an absolute machine, that woman. I've never seen anyone like, she's so good at making stuff. I think again, it's hard to know. She definitely traced off the pattern, but I'm not 100% sure whether she pattern cut it herself, because she seems to not. We really struggle every week. I would love to know if anyone knows. Just never seem to be able to find it. But I think, having seen it, that she might have used a dressing gown pattern, just from the proportions of it and the way the collar was made on it. I think it was. This Simplicity one, it's a family robe, so you can make them for the entire family. The S1562 could be a good option, and a really easy option. But I think if I was gonna like make a sort of something like that, I probably would go for the one that Lauren used, the Simplicity 9692 because it's like, looks like it could be proper, but it's like more simple to make. Anyway, that is it from me. Next time we're in semi-final land, and yeah, who knows what we're going to get next week. I haven't looked yet, so I'm very much looking forward to it. I will see you then. Bye.